Alright, I think that should be good. Let me go ahead and put out a YouTube post. I'll get a I'll get a screenshot of this. There we go. Screenshot preview. I'll wait for... Oh god. OBS, why do you do that? I don't like that very much. Freaking Twitch, man. And OBS. Hey, did you know you closed a dockable window? And I'm never... There's the option to disable that pop-up, but I know if I disable that pop-up, I'm inevitably going to forget at some point, and then wonder to myself, where did chat go? But I think I'm all set up over here. I'm just gonna wait a little bit to see if we can get anyone else on. But I'm fine with yelling into the void for a little bit while we wait for more people to come online. So, as I said in the post, my plan for today is to play a lot of very old, very stinky PopCap games. Because PopCap started just making these old Flash games, and eventually they had this weird sort of model. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it was like there was a sort of pipeline that they had going where you could play the free Flash demo on their website, and then from there you could download a demo of the real game on Steam or wherever else. I imagine like PopCap's website maybe. And then from there, on both of those, it would prompt you like, hey, if you want, you can buy the deluxe edition for however much it was, probably like $10, $15. And that was what they did for basically all of their games. I forget if they did it with their newest. The games like Zuma's Revenge and Plants vs. Zombies, I actually forget. I think there's a demo of PvZ, but I don't think there's one for Zuma's Revenge. But, man, whatever. It's close enough to 3 that I'm fine with starting. So, and I'll leave this up in the background as just like if I ever need to change screens. So, this is a program created by, let me go to home first. Created by Blue Maxima. This is a program called Flashpoint, which is a massive catalog of a whole bunch of games, animations, questionable content. It is Flash after all. And this includes a whole bunch of old PopCap games. And I'm going to try and get through as many of them as I can in reasonable time. Now, the one caveat is that I'm not going to be finishing a lot of these because, again, these are Flash games and some of them are very crusty. Not to mention a lot of them are endless. But I'm going to try my best. And if I duck out of a game early and any of you want to play through more of it, you can always just go in the description of the video, the eventual the eventual VOD of this. And I think if someone asks, I'll just post a link in chat. But without further ado, I guess it's 3, so let's get started. So the first one, I was thinking of going out by chronological order, but it's not really organized in chronological order, so it would be kind of a headache. But hang on. Give me 3 seconds to grab the window. There's going to be a lot of... Oh god, I forgot about the applet started. There we go. Who needs cropping? I could just put it off screen. That's how they did it in the Flash days, so it's kind of fitting. This game is very old and quite crusty. I need to hide my mouse. 2 seconds. There we go. So, I'm going to be honest, this one is very boring. Gimmick with this one is just... It's sort of like dominoes, now that I think about it. Okay. I've actually gotten decently good at a lot of these stinky old games, because my original plan was to play a bunch of these and then make almost like a video essay talking about them. I'm going to die. Okay. But I think I mentioned this in the Dynomite, when I was playing Dynomite earlier, that I slowly started to get burnt out, and it also just wasn't fun. It just wasn't very entertaining. It was sort of just me talking to myself going, yeah, this game is interesting. This game was PopCap's first game that did this thing, but after a certain point it all kind of blended together and it wasn't really that interesting. So I think instead I'll do this. I think I lose. No? Okay. Toss that. Ironically, this is going to be one of the ones that I'll spend a little bit longer with, just because it's... Well... It's not exactly entertaining, but it is something. That was cool. Okay. I don't even know what to do for commentary for this one in particular. It's so rudimentary. It feels like a I was about to say like a Java applet. It is a Java applet. It feels like a learn to program by making this simple web game sort of game. I'll clear one screen and then I'll stop. Also, quick note about the category. The category I listed as I think I have it listed as Bejeweled, like regular old Bejeweled. There are no categories for for Flashpoint. Or a lot of the really, really old PopCap stuff, which, I mean, fair enough. almost nobody's going to use those categories. Well, I will say right now this is about as fun as eating lead. But we're slowly getting there. It's like Uno. The hardest part is always the end bit. Yeah! Oh god. That's another thing you're gonna have to get used to. There are a lot of stock sounds here, and they're amazing. One of the best parts about these old Flash games is that they just unabashedly use really old, stinky Flash sounds. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I have like a folder set up with so that I can show the "we'll be right back," but I had it in the wrong layer. All right. Give me 3 seconds to set up the next one, because I am going to have to painstakingly open and close all of these as I pass through them. So I guess I may as well knock out these two applets since they're not next to each other, but they're close enough. There we go. This one is Atomica, and this one is really weird. I'd never even heard of this one before, but apparently it's like this. It's very, very odd. It sort of reminds me of the kind of game that you would like train an AI to get really good at. It's not unfun. It's interesting. The thing I don't really understand is why even bother with a combo system on this one. Oh god, I now have access to the atomic bomb. Certified Oppenheimer moment. Something that always stuck out to me about this one in particular is there's a pretty famous theorem called the four-color map theorem, and it's this. I think it's like a discrete math thing. It's like a proof. It's a proof that if you had an infinite array of countries, no matter what shape the countries are in, if you had at minimum of 4 colors, you could fill in every single country on the map with a color that is distinct from their neighbors. I think so. I feel like it's a similar thing going on here. That it starts out really, really easy to the point that you're almost 100% guaranteed to find a neighbor or to find a match of some variety. And as it gets further and further in, it becomes statistically less and less likely, to the point of being almost impossible to find matches once there's like 8 or 9 colors on the board at once. this is like establishing some themes that'll be iterated on later on. Things like always having a combo meter and having it in like a level-based format, even when you probably would be better as sort of like an adventure game. We'll see that a bit more once we get to the more complex ones that aren't Flash games. It's already been 15 minutes and all I've done is play freaking Alchemy and Atomica. We got a lot to go over, so I should probably wrap this up relatively quickly. I think what I'll do, I'll stop this one. I'll move on to one of the browser ones next, and this is just joyful. Hang on, give me a moment to grab the Firefox tab. You know what, I think it'd be better to just make a new capture. Yeah, let me just make it, give me 3 seconds, I'll make a new capture. Flashpoint Navigator, there we go. So, you may notice the resolution is messed up. That is not my fault. That's actually, I think genuinely it's because of the OS that I'm running on, because it's Windows 10. It would originally fit to the screen size, but it doesn't. But this one is actually, it's a little bit loud, but this one is very fun. Because you can kind of just like Tetris, it's like Tetris Attack, but like weird and top-down. It's like half Tetris Attack, half Collapse. It's like pretty rudimentary, but for what it's worth, it's fun. The spread, the textures are awful though. I don't know why they decided in this art style, but it looks hideous. And you should see, there's a deluxe version of this, and the character art is just, oh god. It really is something else. I'll play for the rest of this level and then I'll stop, because there really is... This is basically just Astro Pop Deluxe, but without music, and it's a little bit more stiff. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Okay. Moving on. Oh, yes. Next up. I hope this doesn't have ambient sound. Okay, it doesn't. We're good. It gives me time to set up the third and final window. It's so small. Let me name these actually, because I am going to get these mixed up otherwise. Let's just go browser. Adobe 32, something like that. I'll work it out. But anyway, it's Bejeweled. It's the original Bejeweled. Now, it goes back a little bit further than this, but this is the version that we're going to be seeing the most today. And yeah, it is also just Bejeweled. It's not incredibly fun. It's like fun enough that I'm willing to spend a little bit of time, basically just until the bonus bar fills up. Oh god, the cursor. Oops. I don't want the cursor to show up. Get out of here. And there's no hints. That's the weird thing about these early ones, is that there's no hint button at all. I think it eventually like does the Chuzzle thing. Yeah, and if you win around, it does that. All right. Why is it still? Hang on just a moment. Capture cursor off. Come on. Okay, there we go. That'll be... Take a hint. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Magic 8 Ball and Ariel font. I'll be sure to do that. Alright. Moving on from there is a game that's actually, like, decently fun. And it has music, which is going to be kind of a rarity today. This one's, like, basically fun.
Go.
It's got better controls, it generally just feels a little bit better to play. They don't have fire gems yet, but they do have, what's the word for them? Power gems, right. This is a little bit loud, so turn it down to there. A common trend with these games is that there's no such thing as a soft flash game. All of them are loud, every single one of them. And now there's actually a hint button. Yeah, that's like, it's basically fun. It's Bejeweled. Alright. Next up, we got... Oh, right. This next one I'm just gonna skip. This next one I'm just gonna skip. Some of these I will completely skip, like Bejeweled 2, this one I'm just gonna completely skip over, because it is exactly the same game as this. There are 3 versions of Big Money. Out of these, I think I'm only going to be playing the bottom one. There's 2 bookworms. Oh, spoilers. We'll get down there eventually. There is some unbelievably cool stuff down there. And by cool, I mean terrible. But let's move on from there to a really weird one. The Facebook freaking... My god. What an amazing thing. But this is... It's like a weird beta version of Bejeweled Blitz.
1 minute. Go.
That's really loud. I'm glad I turned that down.
Excellent. Good.
God, that sound is nostalgic for me. It's like the weird old hypercube. Nice. There are two ways to play this game, and I'm basically going to be alternating between the two. The first way is to have excellent peripheral vision and always see where the next move is. The second is to just click that funny hint button as much as you possibly can. I'm kind of going to be going back and forth.
Time up.
Ah. Top 25% of all scores. That is a question I've wondered about. How does it know what the top scores are? Do they just have like a soft limit built in? It's curious. Send to score. Download the full version of Bejeweled 2 for free. I happen to know if you press that button, it actually does just download a zip file that has Bejeweled2.exe. It's hilarious. But I'm not going to do that. We'll move on from there to regular old Bejeweled Blitz. And this one is so bizarre. It's got like microtransactions. I think this is supposed to be a Facebook game. But this is either a cracked version or something, because all of them are free. Maybe when it was about to be discontinued, they just made everything free and said, yeah, to the people that are still here, just go for it. That's still so loud. So this is basically just Bejeweled Blitz. There's some very minor differences, like that fire effect looking absolutely horrendous. And there are like coin gems. And if you match the coin gems, it will give you coins for use in that little like weird Facebook marketplace. And I imagine you could also just pay real-world money instead. Ow. Ow. Okay, those are very, very loud.
Time up.
For what it's worth, Bejeweled is about as loud as these get. Yeah, download the fully awesomized version of Bejeweled Blitz to your PC now. I don't really feel like it. Next on the list. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a weird one as well. This is Bejeweled Twist. Now, I forget the full story with this one in particular. I think it must have been like they had like a board meeting of like, okay, how do we keep our product relevant? And someone was like, okay, what if instead of swiping, they twisted?
Classic.
Now, I joke I wonder if that employee is still at PopCap, but PopCap has been not in its prior self for over 10 years at this point, so... But, what? It's so strange. And this was referenced in Plants vs. Zombies as well. There was Bejeweled, and there was also Bejeweled Twist, which was this. And it's such a weird... It's just so weird. I have to think to myself, like, why would you play this over regular Bejeweled? Like, it's cool. It's a very interesting take. But, like, why would you play this when you could just play regular Bejeweled? And regular Bejeweled is generally, like, more fun and more responsive. And doesn't require you to fight the game as much. It is also, to my knowledge, it is impossible to make a hypercube. Granted, I don't even think they would work in this system because you would have to... Hypercubes usually work by you swiping into something. But I think even if you try to, it'll just make like the lightning gem. And the end condition for this game is these like bombs that you have to defuse by matching them. It's bizarre. Weird. They matched the L shape and it just made a fireball, but it made a lightning gem over here. Oh god, the lightning has a new graphic. Or no, this might have been the first time lightning was actually usable, I think. I don't know for sure. There we go. Ooh. There we go. This is so bizarre. I'll go until the end of level 3 and then we'll switch gears. Alright. Good enough. Oh, hey! Fruit Dats? Supernova Gem? Okay, Supernova Gem is only a deluxe thing? That's really weird. Alright. Yes. Next up, we have Big Money. Just look at him. It's big money. How can you be mad at a face like that?
Get ready. Go.
Go. And this one is very reminiscent of Collapse. I think eventually I will... I may also do a playthrough of a bunch of old Collapse games, because they are still available for purchase, if I recall correctly. You just go to, like, the Game House website, and you can get them all from there. But I'll have to wait a bit for that. Am I about to lose already?
3, 2, 1. Game over.
That was awful. It took no time at all. Fine. Fine.
Ready.
Give me
Go.
easy mode. Give me, like, I was saying about the 4-color map theorem. Yeah. How menacing. This is, like, fun-ish.
Excellent. Level up.
Excellent. And hey, I mean, that's better than being a ditch digger.
Go.
Go. Could have sworn it's like a little bit slower on the deluxe version. Not again. No. Okay. Help!
Level up.
Okay. I'm still a ditch digger to you,
Go.
huh? Man. This is a... I mean... I need to stop, like, falling back into the same three phrases over and over again. I was about to say, this is basically fun. I've said that, I've already said that.
Level up.
Alright, I've leveled up to minimum wage slave. And let's keep going. And move on. I'm bouncing between the higher quality version or the dinky flash version. You heard that. You know exactly what this is. It's Bookworm, baby. Now, Bookworm has a very odd history. And we'll get an answer to a pretty strange question answered today of why has this game disappeared off the face of the internet? Because if you've tried to download this game in the modern day, you might note it is not on any storefront. You literally have to find either archive sites or oldgamedownloads.net, which is moderately sketchy, or something. Like you can't find this on Steam anymore. It's just not there.
Get ready.
And a lot of the other ones still are. But I'm not amazing at Bookworm, but I'll play a little bit of it. Let's go with Havoc, yes. Nil. I don't see any easy ways to get that. Judge. Man, there's just not a lot. Oh, right, you can scramble. But it also adds one of those, so probably shouldn't have done that. I could have sworn there was like a special animation if you used more than one of the fire tiles. I might have just been misremembering. But yeah, this is not quite as interesting as I would have liked. So let's leave from Bookworm. We'll come back to this and maybe explore why it disappeared off the face of the internet. But for now, oh wait, it's literally the very next game. Awesome. So that's going to get answered very quickly. With a little game called Bookworm Adventures. Ooh, that is a very painful flashing effect. So, this is a Bookworm RPG. You heard that correctly. This is a Bookworm. It's so incredibly weird. Also, on a quick note, I do think it's hilarious that the librarian is talking to a literal bookworm and saying, "Wow, look at all these nibbles on the pages. I wonder what could have happened." But he's just saying, like, "Oh, defeat them with the power of reading." And now I'm gonna do that. Gonna kick his ass with the power of reading. Yeah, books. But it's not confirmed. I don't know this for certain, and I mean, at this rate, we may never know the answer. But there is another game that came out roughly... Ah, crap. I want to say it came out 7 years after this, called LetterQuest Grimm's Journey. Now, LetterQuest has a eerily similar setup to this. I believe it's a 3x4 board instead of a 4x4, or it's like a 5x3 or something like that instead of a 4x4. But a lot of the gameplay is extremely similar. And the question, of course, is, was that similarity intentional? Was this game ripped off? Now, we'll never know the answer to that, because soon after the release of LetterQuest, all Bookworm-related titles were removed from online storefronts, and those dates match up. Yeah, damn it. I'm missing an L. Come on, I'm gonna get it. No. Battered our bones. No, I don't care about your battered bones. Oh, it does carry over. Let's go with sure. I love this animation.
Astonishing.
Wow.
Astonishing.
Liar works. I'm gonna one-shot the boss at this. Just you wait. It'll be funny. Get ready to hear that sound, this sound a lot, by the way, because I have to, like, see what I can do. There she goes. Alright, how much is this gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kaboom! Oh my god. That was just an insta-kill. What does this... Is this like a freeze tile? Freezes enemy for 1 turn, also gives a 25% damage boost. I've literally never seen this one before.
Wow, nice. Good.
Bottom. Just bottom. I know I'm immature, but that's very funny.
Good. Wow.
I love how delayed the sound is on that.
Nice.
Poor guy. I'm gonna get phone again?
Good. Good.
I'll hit you with the claw. Yes. Ah, right. Last level. Uh... It's kind of an annoying set of words. Oh. I'm gonna pwn his ass. Look at that. Uh-oh. I'm dead. No? Oh my god, I'm alive. There we go, Jesus. Just give me a word.
Very good.
Get him.
Good.
Kick him in the groin.
Wow.
Hmm. Alright, this guy's a pain. We're almost there, though. Then we can finally move on. Uh... Oh, I can do it.
Excellent.
I'm glad that another eye dropped down, or else that would have sucked. Oh.
Good.
We did it! Mighty champion, yeah. We made it through. I don't know how long I'm actually going to go for, now that I think about it, because that was one of the longer ones. But screw it. I'm fine to keep going. Next up, oh, Jesus. Next up is a little game by the name of Candy Train. You can already hear it in its glory? Question mark? This is one of the worst ones, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing about it. But it's a train game. You just kind of go. And it's where they learned a lot of their tricks. Like they use this pathfinding algorithm a lot. Like a lot. There's so many games where they just have like, oh, we have these straight lines and we have these curved paths. What do they make? Pick up S'more's car. If I can actually manage to beat this, that would actually be really impressive. Okay, that almost killed me. Caboose! Oh my god, we're almost through. I don't know where I have to go from here, but now the thing is finished. Just send it on a long road. Oh my god. Uh-oh. I was just gonna watch that play out. Oh my god. That was amazing. That was way better than the first time I played this. Alright. And it just does that, and if you go to that level up, I imagine it just resets and then adds more things. Really interesting stuff. Very interesting. Definitely, you know, actually not boring as heck. Next up we have Diamond Mine, which should look eerily familiar, because we already did this one, kind of. This is the very, very first version. Back before the game was even officially published by someone other than PopCap. I think Bejeweled was published by, like, Microsoft or something like that? Like, Microsoft or like HP or like one of those companies that was big around this time. My gut says Microsoft. But they changed it from Diamond Mine to Bejeweled because they felt like that name fit better, and it kind of does. I don't know how well Diamond Mine would work. But this is, I think, the oldest that we ever get with PopCap games. Now this one does have a little bit of residual lore that I'm trying to get through as many of these as I can, but I do know this game in particular, there was a GDC talk with the main guy behind PopCap. And he talked about things like where the origins of the company and how they started. One of the things that they mentioned was that there was a JavaScript game that Diamond Mine was sort of inspired by, known as I think it was called Colors Game. And I managed to find the Colors Game. I literally just looked up on GitHub, I just looked up, like, Colors Game, and ended up finding a really old thing from the 90s. And I'll have to link it. It's so cool. Because you load it up in archive.org and it literally starts a DOSBox emulator just because of how old the game is. You physically cannot run it on modern computers. You have to use a DOS emulator. And it's super rudimentary, and it's basically Tetris. But you can kind of see the inspiration, especially when it's this simple. That was just the one-up sound from Super Mario Brothers, or that would be Mario Advance, I bet. That sounded a little bit too advanced to be regular old Mario Bros. Either way, audio nerding aside. Next up, we have an old friend, Dynomite. This was another one of their earliest, which is weird to think.
Combo. Super combo.
The old strats still work, but it's a little bit clunkier because you can only fire one egg at a time. And obviously the screen size is way, way smaller. So a lot of the slick tricks that you could do... What did I just do? Did I just get a... I can't fire. Did I just get it stuck? Okay, note to self. Don't fire it that way. It breaks it. Ranking Fossil. Okay. Well, I already played regular old Dynomite, so I don't need to belabor this point. Let's move on. Let's move on to another browser one. Hang on, let me... There you are. Heavy Weapon. This is one of those where I've heard a lot of people have a ton of nostalgia for this one. I really don't see it, though maybe the deluxe version improves on it. So, easy, learn the basics of driving your atomic tank. Hard, can you defeat the mighty forces of Red Star? Or survival, very hard.
Prepare for battle.
Screw it, let's go very hard. Okay, this is a bit much. That sound was used in Half-Life, wasn't it? I swear I've heard that before. Ground Zero Gas. Freedom spawns convenience. I love that, actually. So there's just, like, gas stations that restore your health. I'll give a survival another crack, because the thing is, any of the modes in this game take ages and ages. Like, I think when I originally recorded footage, Heavy Weapon took, like, genuinely, like, 15 minutes, because it was just going through as much of it as I possibly could. Visit Scenic Dictastrica. Dictastrica? Very weird. Also, ooh, hello flashing effect. Also available for Xbox Live Arcade and PC. That is incredible. How it's not often that you hear the words Xbox Live Arcade in the modern day, but I mean, it's ain't exactly the modern day. What we got next? Next up is another applet. Where are you? There you are. This one is very, like, it's one of those where I feel like the story is more interesting than what it's actually, than the actual game. This game is inspired by a thought experiment called Theseus and the Minotaur. It's a pretty it's a game theory thing. God, the sounds are so delayed. So the trick is... Really? What a mean spawn. Okay. The trick is that the mummy will always move 2 tiles at a time, and you can only move 1 tile at a time. The only way to win is to do that, and to trap the mummy and then escape. I think there's a similar method here. Maybe wait, step out, wait, have him get stuck, and then leave. It's an interesting concept, for sure. It's not incredibly fun, especially because of this. Watch out for the traps on the floor. The mummy can walk over them, but you cannot. Look at that, he's dancing. I'm cursed. Oh, I'm dead. Nice. Ah, there we go. And then I step out this way. Move all the way around, get him to follow me. Gotcha. I don't know how that worked, but it did. Okay, so I have to go this way. Weird. Alright, that's... I think this one is a deluxe version, but I don't believe it's available on Steam, so I could try and fish it out, but I don't think it's worth the trouble, really. Next up, we have something you might not expect. We've got a biblical game. Now, as much as funny as it would be for it to be just like a whole hog, like, quiz Bible game, you know the type. It's actually not. It's decently classy. This is... I don't know the best word for it, but you match them up in pairs of 2. It's surprisingly easy. That was a cool combo. Too many frogs. Ba-da! That sound, I believe it's like Nitrome or something. I've definitely heard that sound before, but I don't remember what from. And this is continuing in the weird... One of the weird themes of these PopCap games is they never really got a good handle on like combos in a way that made sense for a lot of these. Like this one in particular, like early on you can kind of just pick out all of the matches of one type, but it's like Pizza Frenzy, where after a certain point it's like, yeah, cool. Like and unlike Pizza Frenzy, there's not even coupons. You can't just take them and like turn them into other animals. The frogs are always in the same place, and if you run out of frogs, you lose your combo. But I find this one to actually be pretty fun. It's not perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination is it perfect. But it's fun enough that I could see myself spending a decent amount of time with it if I had nothing else to do in the early 2000s. Now, naturally, I can't really say that anymore because, you know, Flash is currently sitting in a shallow grave somewhere at the main offices of Adobe. It's just sitting in a ditch somewhere. Because I think it was actually... this is gonna sound like a meme, but I think it genuinely was Steve Jobs who was like, one of the reasons why Flash fell out of favor is, I believe, it was either an Apple talk or just, like, some general tech talk. He lambasted Flash for how unsafe it was. And as a move to sort of at least try to phase out Flash on his end, he made it so that Flash wasn't supported by Safari browsers. And this was huge back in the day. It was like, oh, damn, he just did that. I guess Flash will soon be falling out of favor, and indeed it did. But now we're in this weird situation. Oh, out of moves. Well, and all the animals died. Let's do one more game of, Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. Custom hypercute technology. Hypnotic new music soundtrack. I would prefer for the phrases Noah's Ark and hypnotic to not be in the same sentence. That just sounds like religious indoctrination. Wait, new game, action, expert. There we go. But especially with my generation, I'm in a weird sort of situation where so many of the games that I grew up playing are now completely inaccessible. And this isn't like a, oh, go to a used game store and find them. You can't because it's Flash. Bollocks. There's a move in here somewhere. There you are. I should have saved that frog. Oops. All right, I'll call it here. But what I was saying was that with my generation, it's so strange that there's so many games and so many memories that we had or still have that we genuinely just cannot tap into anymore because they just don't exist. The old internet is no longer there. And I'm only doing the Bjorn stuff with this because it is just Peggle, and it is straight up just worse than Peggle Deluxe. I will be playing through all of Peggle Deluxe and Peggle Knights and some of like the silly spin-offs as well though. So don't you worry. I might actually even play anyone who's watched Greyford probably knows about this, but to the uninitiated, one of the weirder PopCap games is Peggle Extreme. There were two Peggle spin-offs, or not spin-offs, sort of, but like texture mods. One of them was a source game mod, and replaced all of like the splash arts with Valve stuff, and another one was World of Warcraft. And I think I'll be playing both of those. I will also probably... Now, don't hold me to this, because I don't really know what this would entail. I was thinking that I could also try... I could also try and do the StarCraft custom Bejeweled map. The one that, It was so weird. I was like looking up information about that, and I found a video by the one and only Total Biscuit about the StarCraft Bejeweled. And I never actually followed Total Biscuit back in the day, so I had no idea that he did StarCraft stuff. But I've never really watched his stuff. All I really know, besides the obvious, is I believe he went by... He was... Cynical, I think? Like I said, I've never watched any of his stuff. I should probably, at some point, like, go through and watch a bunch of the old but good YouTube channels of days gone. Because even though I grew up around that time, I just completely oblivious of the world around me at times, especially when it comes to the internet. There's so much stuff that's just so easy to miss, and then you end up in situations like this where it's just completely unattainable. It's like, congratulations, you never looked at these PopCap games, and now because EA is terrible at archiving this stuff, they're gone forever. Not even like a Flash archive Steam game or something like that. Just completely gone with no way to find them. Man. I still wonder what the heck PopCap would be like if they managed to survive to the modern day. Because they do exist in a certain form. I'm sure there are still... Some of the people with PopCap still work at EA and do, like... Maybe they work on Bejeweled Stars, or maybe they're working on Plants vs. Zombies 3. But, like, imagine, like, old PopCap with George Fan and, Jason Kapalka, I believe? I forget his first name. It's like Jason Kapalka, Justin Kapalka, something like that. He was the one that gave the GDC talk. George Fan is in particular is the guy that I like think about his career at PopCap and how it started and how it ended, and I think, damn, what would it have been like if George Fan had been there for longer than just making 2 games? Because both of the games that he helped in making, in like the vision and the development of it all, were 2 of PopCap's best games. Because, fun fact, the reason why George Fan was employed at PopCap in the first place was he was, I want to say the year was 2005. He submitted Insaniquarium as part of an independent games festival held in Seattle, and PopCap caught wind of it and hired him. So Insaniquarium is his baby. Like, it was the that was the and people agree, a lot of people agree that it is one of the best PopCap games. It's just like weird, like zany casual game. Man, this is so much weirder without the music. Or the dramatic zoom in. It just feels weird just watching it slowly interact with the orange peg at the end. Over 10 levels, good lord. How long have I been going for? Hour 17, okay. I am very invested in this game right now. Man, I love Peggle. Peggle, Peggle, Peggle. I mean, whatever. My apathy is kind of working here. Oop. Shouldn't have said anything. All right, and it keeps going like that for a bit. But I say we move on to weirder pastures. Not greener pastures, mind you, weirder pastures. Now we move on to one that I actually have not tested. So I'm curious how this one's gonna work. But this is it's a web version of Plants vs. Zombies, which I don't think is supposed to exist. Maybe this is a bootleg. It also seems like it's not working. So maybe. Oh, there we go. Good grief. So there's adventure, survival, puzzle. I'll do a little bit of adventure, why not? But I mean, it was just talking about George Fan. This is also his baby. And I think this is generally considered to be the best PopCap game ever made. Like, there's some contention between this and Peggle Knights. But this game is just so good. And if I recall correctly, this demo goes until the end of the first what am I thinking of? It goes until the first, like, mass home invasion, 1-10. But it's like weird, stripped down version of Plants vs. Zombies. I wonder if there's still walnut bowling. Weird. So they delayed it until you had 3 sunflowers down.
The zombies are coming.
Another really funny thing that I found when I was like looking around is I mentioned before that George Fan got his start from an independent games festival. Now, there was another person active around this time who's also huge in the indie game scene, especially back then. And his name is Edmund McMillan, and McMillan and Fan are actually friends, which is awesome. But McMillan, I don't know how he does it, but he is just absolutely everywhere. There's a reason he's such a big name in the industry. He's just, like, ever since Newgrounds, he's just appeared so many places. From this, to Braid, to obviously Meat Boy and Isaac. And he's even buds with Derek Yu as well. Okay. I'm thinking I might just stop, because this is just Plants vs. Zombies. My goal here is to catalog the stuff that people haven't seen, and I'm sure a lot of people here have seen Plants vs. Zombies before. What I am here to catalog is the weird stuff, so let's jump right back into it. Another one of the tiny little applets. And this one has like a weird thing on the edge. I don't know what's up with that. Doesn't really... I don't think it affects it too much while when it's not when the screen isn't black. But this is 7 Seas. This is like it's another game theory game. I guess. Oh. Well, that sucks. So you move around and basically bait ships into crashing, trying to reach you. And there's also like there's special red ships that you have to actually shoot with cannonballs. Come on. Brilliant. You kind of have to, like, lead them around in circles. Alright, this is where I die. The red ones you actually have to fight, and I'm not good at that. Well, I mean, yeah, that is 7 Cs. Oh, the freaking aspect ratio is kind of messed up, but it didn't affect too much. Yeah, it affected it a little bit. Sorry about that. It's like slightly off. I'll have to fix that with the next game, which is also a pretty old game. Well, this one in particular. No, that one's pixel perfect though. Dang it. So it's just specific ones are just slightly different sizes. But next up we have Typer Shark, or just Typer Shark Basic, I guess. I'm gonna go with hard mode. I'm feeling ballsy, but this is a extremely fun game. That being said, I am prepared to hear a lot of clicky-clacky of keyboards. But the shtick with this game is sharks will come towards you, and you just have to type in their names before they reach you. And it like slowly mixes up the mechanics, and maybe earlier in the day, I'll just like do a stream where I just play Typer Shark Deluxe and I just go. Because this game is extremely fun. I will say, specifically, the deluxe version is very fun. This one is fun too, just not quite as much. Like a lot of the other deluxe versions, it's just a little bit less responsive. Some of the design decisions are a little bit less interesting and a little bit more questionable, frankly. Like this game in particular, I remember I might stop after this, so we might not see this. Yeah, the Shaolin Temple gem. But I'll stop after level 2, so you might not actually see this. But there are these stupid white piranhas that draw from your keypad, and the things that come when you press shift and press a number. Which is kind of just stupid. I don't know why it's like that. Not to say that Deluxe doesn't have dumb stuff, it kind of like trades out one annoying thing for one not so annoying thing. But I think I prefer it just because it doesn't have those more annoying enemies. I was thinking I could also play Typing of the Dead one of these days, because I remember seeing that game. I forget if it was GDQ or what, but I have seen that game before, and it does look hilarious. It's one of those games that's really fun to mess with the files of, because there's just a file that contains every possible word for this. So if you wanted to spell out poggers in a typing game, that's the way that you do it. You just scroll down to where it says 6-letter words and just add in, just replace everything with just various funny things like that. Okay. The Tiger's Eye Diamond. Very cool. Alright. Now we move on to a classic. And I'm torn between doing the regular version or doing the web browser version. I think I'm going to do the Flash version here. Or they're both the Flash version. What am I saying? Oh, weird. Really weird. So, it pulled up just like a black screen with this at the center. And the other one I think would have been the browser version. So I think this is better. It's a bit less crowded. But it is just Zuma. And Zuma's fun. Zuma. That was a cool shot. I do love the Flash thing of just unabashedly reusing sounds from other parts of your soundscape. Or, like, other games. Just because, like, why not? No one is going to critique the game on that level. They're gonna just look at it and say, okay, is it fun? Yes? Okay, that's good enough. Will people play this on their coffee break? If so, that's good enough. Not to say they should hold themselves to those standards, but it does lead to some fun moments like that. Because that sound is from Insaniquarium. That's just the sound when like Nico the Pearl opens up. The corners are always weird in these. I don't know how that worked, but it worked. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's about all we need to say. But it's interesting. It's so fascinating to me. And then from here, we move on to the cooler Zuma. Oh, that was from the freaking. It scared me. We move on to Zuma Deluxe. Zuma's Revenge. I think there was Zuma Deluxe. And I think that pop-up was advertising it. You can't... I believe in Zuma's Revenge, they added the ability to cycle out. Sort of like Tetris, so you can just like take the one that is laying in waiting and just use it immediately. Oops. Would prefer not to resize the window. This is jank enough as it is. Yeah, this is like basically fun. I wonder if with Zuma, once you have like 2 or 3 left, I wonder if you can just set up some gigantic combo by meticulously placing things along the remaining tiles. Buy Zuma Revenge. Unlimited play in all 4 game modes. I actually have Zuma's Revenge, so I'll play that later, but for the time being, we're moving on. Next up, this is a game I was not expecting to play this one at all, but I noticed it when I was poking around. And give me a moment. I don't know why, but it's being the Twitch stats are being kind of sluggish, and I keep having to like manually update what my uptime is. And I know it shows in OBS, but if someone is talking in chat and I've been seemingly ignoring them for the past 100 minutes, that's why. So I apologize. If I like look back through the VOD and there are questions that I never answered or just like hellos, let me just give like a blanket thanks a lot for coming, glad you could be here, and I'll answer the questions as I see them. Just like once I see them, I'll just like put like a bunch of them in a comment. But now we move on to probably the weirdest one I'll do today. It's close. But give me a moment. Oh, this is an Adobe one, okay. So, you might notice... Oh no! You might notice, this is Plants vs. Zombies 2. This is also all in Chinese. This was presumably made by Tencent Games. It is a online, basically like an MMO version of Plants vs. Zombies 2. And I swear it's not cut off. And I swear I didn't intentionally cut it off in OBS, it's just like that. I mean, for what it's worth, music is okay. And off the top of my head, like, the things that I know, there's, like, vague differences already. Like, you don't have to click on the sun, you automatically collect it by just, like, mousing over it. I swear it's, like, slightly less gory, though I can't say for sure. I know that China has very odd laws when it comes to, depictions of bones, in particular. I don't remember the specifics because I've I've never lived in China, but it's something having to do with like they view bones being depicted outside of a purely, what's the word for it? Like depicting bones outside of outside of a like funerary setting is disrespectful to the dead. It's something like that. I don't know for certain. And like it makes logical sense, at least based on Chinese culture. But it's hard to say for sure because I am not Chinese. Nor do I consider myself to be an expert on Chinese culture or history. But that's just it. Alright, 15 FPS Crazy Dave, what you got? Okay. And now we get to the part that is honestly more interesting than the game itself. It's the fact that this game is built like Plants vs. Zombies 2. Just an online variant, basically. I just wish the size of the thing is really weird. There's also a massive white bar at the bottom of the screen for y'all, which I'm sorry about. But like you can move around. That, if I remember correctly, based on like the hat and the hair, I've played Civilization. I think that's Qin Shi Huang, the like unifier of China, something like that. For what it's worth, the music and like general vibe isn't bad. But none of the levels work. Presumably you would need like some sort of account or something in order to actually play through these levels, and I don't have that. It's also offline and I don't understand Chinese. I swear this is I think I made it up to the boardwalk when I did play Plants vs. Zombies 2, but it's been probably 10 years. This is far future, and it's like underwater, right? It's like Atlantis, something like that. I don't know how this is supposed to be time travel, but whatever. You do you, Crazy Dave. But it's so weird. Because I seem to recall in the original, the pyramid level was first. So I wonder, did they change the order around because it would be more appealing to the audience? As opposed to starting off right away in Egypt? I don't know for sure. I guess we'll never know because this is a non-functional version of the game. But let's escape from this and move on to something else. Something that I can actually play. I'll cover the two ahead of this one first so that we can I'll be able to lump everything in this next list together. Oh god, the music. It's like Song 2 from Little Big Planet. Oh. Okay. No, actually, this is very much like Dancing Drums from Little Big Planet. I remember this music. But this is Talismania. Long story short, you are King Midas, and you turned your daughter to gold. So you have to do this weird shit in order to prove to the world that you're a good person. And like I said, they bring back this weird gimmick. But I don't find this game to be particularly fun. And it's kind of a theme with a lot of these games that are just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could rotate these things, and when you rotate these things, they do a certain thing? I've never found those to be too fun. Gold! But I just don't find this to be very fun, so already I'm fine with just moving on. Ah, cool. I'm gonna skip Walnut Bowling because I think Walnut Bowling is literally just, there's just like something, it's just like torn out a part of Plants vs. Zombies that is just the Walnut Bowling bit, but it's endless. That's not very interesting. Let's move on to something at the start of something extremely cursed. Okay, it does work here. So, you might notice something's a bit wrong with this Bejeweled, or with this Zuma. We'll get to Bejeweled in a second. But there were a set of licensed PopCap games, and this is one of them. It's Ariel, which, I don't know exactly what Ariel is. I believe Ariel's a dish soap, something like that. Oh, shit. Hang on. I think I accidentally... I should lock that in place. I clicked over to OBS accidentally. I think I moved the GIF out of the way. Zuma. There's really not much to say about this one. This is kind of just like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if the sprites were very slightly different and indicative of some product? But this is them calming down after the escapades that were the licensed PopCap Bejeweled games. And I'll get to those in a second, but that was part of the reason why I wanted to stream this in the first place, because they are wild. I think there's also a Zuma's Revenge one that's the AT&T high-speed challenge. I don't remember for certain, though. That sucks. Zuma. Alright. Alright, it's time. Time for the reason why I decided to do this in the first place. There are a metric ton of old PopCap licensed games like this, all of varying quality. So I'm just gonna play each of them for exactly as long as it takes for me to beat one level. Once the bonus happens, I am immediately switching up and moving to the next one, because we've got a lot of these. And this one is, like, for what it's worth, a decent amount of effort went into this one. With like the cute little Meijer thing on the side. I don't actually know what Meijer is. I think it's like a West Coast grocery store, something like that. I would imagine it is. But there was a Meijer Bejeweled game. Jeez. You're buying so much fresh fruit. Meijer Super Savings. You'll save so much money with Meijer. Or not. I'm not even sure if Meijer is still in business. I can imagine you might. Alright. One down. I'm just gonna keep Adobe 32, the Adobe 32 thing open because we get a lot of these. As much as I want to keep swapping back and forth to the cute thing, we got bigger problems. Namely, Ant Bully Bejeweled. Now, I have a genuine question. Has anyone ever spared a thought for the movie The Ant Bully since it first came out? Serious question. Because I remember the movie Ant... Oh, yeah, I get that it's an illegal move. There was the movie Ants with a Z that I do remember. I think the main character was named Z, and that's why it was called that. And that movie was like marginally good for the time period that it came out. I seem to recall that it was like pretty decent. It was also one of the first 3 animated movies to have fully rendered water, if I recall correctly. Now, I don't believe it's like Flushed Away, where it's like they went completely nuts with it and just made a whole movie with like animated water doing animated water things. But Flushed Away was also Aardman, and it was a decent ways past the release date of Ants. Because Ants was like early 2000s, I thought. God, I don't like the way the exterminator is looking at me. Next up, this one is actually quite cute. This one's just like Autumn Bejeweled. Wouldn't be surprised if this one was just made by PopCap. And not by some random, not by like some third party of like, yeah, we gotta sell product. Why don't we make some Flash games? That'll get people interested. This one is more just like, yeah, seasonal, why not? And there were seasonal games, PopCap games after this. There's actually Christmas Chuzzle, which I might play at some point, but it is, spoiler alert, it is identical to regular Chuzzle, which is unfortunate. It's just like very, very, very slight differences. Like sometimes the Chuzzles have little hats, which is adorable. And instead of fuzz, they like spit out little snowflakes when they get popped. That's basically it. Okay.
Game over.
Okay. Next on the list, Bertolli. Bertolli is like pasta, I think, because that's like a bow tie pasta. But something I just have to mention. This one isn't too bad with it, but there's something to be said about visual clarity. And a lot of these promotional ones just don't have good visual clarity, and it just looks ugly as hell. Not to mention really hard to find your next move. And I unfortunately have a lot of experience with these because as part of that big project that got abandoned, I was going to play. I played every single one of these and recorded me like playing them up until the bonus popped up. So I have a ton of footage of me just languishing in pain as I played all these stinky promotional PopCap games, and like looked on in fear as I realized how many more I had left. But yeah, next, please, God, get me out of here. But no, we're nowhere near done. It only gets worse from here. So, I actually had to look this one up. This was a. If anyone's ever heard the. And this is something from the 90s, so I'm sure someone has probably heard of this before. There was this old ad campaign in the 90s called The Other White Meat. And it was for ham, I believe? And Don't Be Blah, I believe. No, I forget exactly how it worked. I think The Other White Meat was the brand name, and Don't Be Blah was like an overarching slogan that was used by a bunch of different ham companies. Something like that. I gotta properly look it up and see what the situation was. So, that does lead me to the question of what company is this even supposed to be for? Is this just supposed to be for the ham industry in general? Is there like one company in particular that benefits from this? I guess I'll find out some other time. Next is Halloween. This is another one that I feel like was made by PopCap just because it's so much cleaner looking. It looks like it wasn't made in 2 seconds. What am I saying? All of these look like they were made in like 2 seconds. Because that's the joy of Flash, is you really could just like you just have like a folder of assets, and you could just like mix and match and add a bunch of new silly textures of whatever you wanted in there. So now we're stuck with 1,001 Arabian versions of Bejeweled. And I'm stuck having to play through all of them for the sake of archival purposes. Because God knows if I don't, no one else will. But, like, the truly offensive one is a bit further down the list. I forget how long it'll take. I think the letter I'm looking for is M. But we'll get there, and this video will be timestamped with absolutely everything. When I eventually make it into a video, because it seems like... Doesn't seem like there's anyone here, unfortunately. But we keep going. Even still. I will continue to play all of the Bejeweled. I will be the Bejeweled master and then get so sick of it that I never play it again. Let's go. Yeah. God, I see Insaniquarium there, but I'm gonna hold off on doing Insaniquarium for now. I'll get back to it. But first I have to climb this mountain. And eventually I can reach the top of the mountain of Bejeweled and stare out over the top of it and look and think to myself, damn, the sprites in this one look so awful. I don't know if that's supposed to be a hand. I think it is. It just looks bad. It just doesn't look good. Uh, oh no. Ah. Alright. This one, the alternative title for this one is Back to School Bejeweled. This is K-Mart Bejeweled. Just why? Like, I don't get it. Like, this one and another one coming up, it just makes me ponder, why did they commission this? Whatever, like, PR guy was speaking on behalf of Kmart when they commissioned this junk. Why? I just don't get it. It doesn't make logical sense to me. Also, like before, the visual clarity is ass, so I can hardly tell where the matches are. But now we move on to the cream of the crop. Milk chocolate covered Oreo Bejeweled. This is where I put my foot down. Because literally, what reasoning could you have to make this into a game? Just literally, why? Because I guess it's like, oh, it's because it's a Flash game and people play Flash games, so they're going to play this and then want to get Oreos? Like, what's the logic there? How often have you played a game and then thought to yourself, like, how often have you played, like, a licensed game and then thought to yourself, man, I gotta go get whatever it is that licensed thing is coming from. With the sole exception of Chex Quest, because they would literally just give you a freaking Doom disc. How is this supposed to get people to buy more Oreos? Why would they pay PopCap money to make this? I don't get it. But I guess this was still like early 2000s. When you think about Flash games, a lot of it was basically the Wild West. No one really sat down and thought of rules of what you could and couldn't do, because why would you? It'd be kind of pointless. Since everyone was just going to do their own thing anyway. Alright. We've got... How many do we have left? 4 left. And the Zuma... We have 4 left and the Zuma high-speed challenge. And then we're done. And, like, usually I'm not the type of person to, what's the word? What am I thinking of? To deride things related to, like, big industry or big corporations. Obviously, big corporations are unhealthy. Because it stifles, when they get large enough and powerful enough, they end up inevitably stifling competition. But you look at stuff like this, and it's just... like, it's a bit much. It really is. Even as someone who tries their best not to be super polarized in that regard, I just look at this kind of stuff and I just go, damn. Like, you really spent a significant amount of time on stuff like this. This one in particular is... I just have to mention, this one in particular is so weird to me, because so far as I can tell, this is not related to the Mike Myers movie. I think there's a chance that it is, but from what I can tell, this is just Cat in the Hat Bejeweled. Now, my question then is, why was this made? It is not easy, at least from what I understand, it is not easy to get your hands on the license to do stuff related to Dr. Seuss. Not at all. Not one bit. So, like, that begs the question of why and how this was made. Like, what was... It would have to be the Dr. Seuss movie, right? Or not the Dr. Seuss movie, the Cat in the Hat, right? You know, the same movie that tanked Mike Myers' career. It was across the board seen as a terrible, terrible movie. Okay, thank you, Bejeweled. But, like, why was this made? For what purpose? I don't get it. Was this actually officially made by PopCap, or is this basically a bootleg? I have so many questions, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get answers for them, because this is an archive. Alright, I'm taking too long. We move on from here to Tyson Food Chicken Nuggets. I'm just picturing someone, like, sitting in their basement doing nothing but playing Flash games, and then they see this and they think, you know what? I want some Tyson chicken. Some Tyson brand, some Tyson food brand chicken nuggets. Some Tyson food chicken nuggets. Brand chicken nuggets. I am slowly losing brain power the longer I play this just ocean of shitty licensed games, but we're almost there. We got one left. This is the last one. Valentine's Day. And then after that, we can move on to real games again. It's so nice. It'll be so nice to be back, you know? But I've just been festooned by this massive array of really bad just good God. Just soldier on, we're almost there, and then we can move on to something more fun. But this is an archival effort, so I should stop complaining. The hope is that by the end of this, I have a long series that I can use to, like, point to whenever someone says, oh, hey, what were the old PopCap games like? Well, it's a pretty good estimation. So now, finally, we are done with the licensed games, with two exceptions, and we'll get to those at the very end. But for now, we'll move on to Insaniquarium. This is one that I'm happy to actually sit down and play, because, I mean, like, my dude, it is Insaniquarium. Like, how can you not love Insaniquarium? Now, I will say, this is basically the original version of Insaniquarium. Also, you good? Okay, there we go. It was buffering for quite a bit. It's continuing to buffer for quite a bit. I hope it's doing alright. Do you want to... I just got a pop-up. Do you want to run this application? Yes, I would like to run this application. Feed me, fear me, find me. Oh, it saved my progress. Nice. I'll do exactly one level of this, because it is, you know, it is Insaniquarium. It's not exactly fascinating gameplay, but it's fun enough. As usual for Insaniquarium, it's about as fun as watching paint dry for the first bit. I'm sure it'll get better, but like there's not even groovy music here, it is just dead silence. As I slowly build up to having 3 fish instead of 2. Isn't that awesome? Weirdly enough, the sounds are basically what they are in the real game. Considering how old this game is, it's kind of impressive. Come on, just eat the... Thank you. Now, honestly, like this isn't interesting. This is just Insaniquarium, original Insaniquarium, with no music and no nothing. So I think I just move on. Screw it. Let's find something a little bit more enjoyable. Now, I don't think this will be more enjoyable, but this will definitely be funny, if nothing else. This will be funny. Because I don't have... Insaniquarium isn't interesting, but I do have MahJong. And yes, this is a PopCap game. Now, I'm going to come clean immediately and say that I am god-awful at MahJong. I remember I had a really old downloadable game that was also MahJong that I think was different than this game. I don't know, it's been so long I don't even remember. I might be thinking of the Windows one that came packaged with your old Windows computer. Yeah, there's a 2 around here somewhere. I think I need to match this. But I'll only play this for a little bit, I swear. Okay. Why is there an option to shuffle? How can you shuffle MahJong? Wait a minute. What do you mean? All the pieces that we're missing are still missing. Why is there a shuffle option? That's so weird. Okay. Interesting, I guess. What even... Upgrade button does absolutely nothing. I imagine it would take you to a hyperlink or something, but that hyperlink no longer exists, so fair enough. Now from there, we move on to Rocket Mania. This is another kind of cool one. Or just for its age. This one is, it uses the same like rotating tile logic that the games like Talismania used. But this one is more focused on combos, but the combos don't really work. So what you're supposed to do is match these, like basically match up combos of fireworks to put on a fireworks show before daytime. But, like, it's not fun. This one in particular, I remember, is just kind of dry. And like, yeah, it's cool. You have this nice framework that you built up over the years of making all these games. But it's not very satisfying. I did manage to just launch 3 in a row, which was pretty cool.
Level up.
I've earned the rank of Inquisitive Child. I think that's a good thing. It was last time I played this, I got Curious Badger, which I think is the rank after that. But yeah, not much to really say about this one. Though the ranks are cute, it's not that fun of a video game. And now we move on to one that I could hardly even call a PopCap game, which is weird to say, but this one just straight up does not feel like it's by the same company. And this one was by, I think it said ASAP Games. I don't know anything about ASAP Games. It's the same kind of deal as like how a lot of the old downloadable games are by Sprout Games. Maybe this is just like another group of people that they grouped up with that's also like Seattle based or something like that. But this one is so weird. Like I said, it reminds me of a mini clip game where every once in a while it'll just like randomly interject with a sexy woman voice saying, "Oh, look at that, you got a combo." And it feels so wrong for a PopCap game to have like vague sex appeal. Like, part of PopCap's vibe is how, like, the childhood wonder of it all. This is actually decently interesting that you can pull a row up, and I think you also get, that was cool. Yeah, but the fact that there's an AI working at the bottom of the screen and he's completely random does not make this any easier. It's very kind of a questionable decision. I think I'd be fine with it as it's like passively fun, but having the stress of like, oh, if you don't move fast enough, the AI is gonna get itself killed, and it'll be your fault. It doesn't make me feel the best. God, the sounds are so bad. It's the first time I've ever gotten a triple combo, and it will probably be the last. Let's move on to the next one. We're in the home stretch. We really are. This game is actually, it's published by PopCap, but it's actually credited to Andrew Lecker, which is very interesting. This is WordStalk, and this is one of those, I looked as much as I possibly could, and I could find nothing about this game. So far as I can tell, Flashpoint is my only source of reference for what this game is and who made it. As for what it is, it's basically Boggle. It's one of those games where it really does feel like like you could easily just make it completely impossible for yourself. No. Uh, Botto. I like how it says V5 That is cute. Oh no, I could have said Brit. I forgot the British. But it just keeps going like that. It's like passably fun. I respect it for what it is. Especially since it was seemingly entirely made by one person. And I'm always an advocate for the indie scene, which it feels weird to say it for that. Down the list we got HTML5 Bejeweled. I'm gonna skip that because it's basically Bejeweled 3, and we can just play Bejeweled 3 when the time comes. But now, hang on, browser. There you are. This is another one where if you've watched Greyford, you've probably seen this one, but for those who haven't, this game is called Bonnie's Bookstore, and it wins the award for probably the cutest plot out of any Flash game I've ever played. Oh my god, there's an option to download. Oh my god. That is such a cute thing. Okay. It's been 3 years since Bonnie... God, that was an awful voice crack. It's been 3 years since Bonnie inherited her grandfather's bookstore. This was no ordinary bookstore. Bonnie's bookstore carried nothing but the finest books for children. Running a bookstore was fun, but sometimes Bonnie dreamed of making a bigger mark on the world. One spring day, as Bonnie was cleaning the attic above the store. What's this? Her grandfather kept a small painter's gallery hidden in the attic. I'll write the text and use my grandfather's paintings to make children's books. It's simple, but it's so cute for what it is. But this one isn't too entertaining. It's basically just Bookworm, but instead of no music, it's like weird ambient bird sounds, which is I guess that's an improvement. Yeah. Yeah. This one isn't too interesting, is it? Story is certainly cute, but it's not that engaging. And I'm just gonna go right through to the next one. which is apparently by Raptosoft Games. I had no clue this wasn't technically a PopCap original. I guess I would explain why EA hasn't iterated it on it. Iterated it. It would explain why EA hasn't really touched it at all. But I mean, this is sort of just Chuzzle without music and slightly lower quality of sprites, but it's about the same. A little bit more pixely. But Chuzzle's great. Like this one, I'm trying to think of which of these, like out of this entire list, I don't know which Flash one is my favorite, but I think with the deluxes, it's either Chuzzle or Typer Shark. Both of those are very, very good. And we'll get to Typer Shark. I swear to you, I'm gonna do a full damn playthrough of Typer Shark Deluxe. It is gonna be great. That is a really fun game. Maybe not like the typing training stuff. Because it is exactly what you think it is. It's just, hey, type AAA, now AJA, now AAJ. You did it. It's not too engaging. Well, I guess if you're 7 and learning how to type quickly, it can be pretty helpful. Oh, this is still here. You gotta do that at least once. It always bugged me though that you couldn't do that with the rainbow ones. But whatever. Yeah, and here's where it gets harder. It does those. The locks. Alright, I'm cutting myself off, because I think it is literally just this. Not to say that Chuzzle isn't fun, because Chuzzle is very fun. It's just that there's nothing here. Go to Lux, turn symbols on. Oh shit, colorblind! Oh my god! Colorblind accessibility. This is really rare this early on. This is a thing, this is one of the reasons why I hold PopCap in such high regard, because they do stuff like this, and this was in the 2000s. Because I know that accessibility options like that, and like colorblind options and seizure warnings and stuff like that are more commonplace now, but back in the 2000s, you did not see them very often. So when you did see them, it was from a developer that genuinely cared. Alright, I said I cut myself off, but that is really cool. I had no idea. Okay. After that is a game that I need to stop. I'm going to intentionally stop myself, because if I let myself, I'm going to play this game for a very long time. This one is Hammerheads. One moment. Yeah, this is Hammerheads. It's a whack-a-mole game, basically. And it starts out kind of slow, but it's very fun. And the funny thing is, it has, like... What's the word for it? I'd say roguelike elements to meme, but it's not necessarily that. You, like, build up your hammer over time. You can eventually... It's weird how much stuff this has, especially for a Flash demo. Because unlike the other ones, I played this one all the way through. It eventually has, like, a shop that you can hit to enter it. And you can, like, upgrade your hammer and make it go faster and get multiple hits. It's so insane. It's insane. It's so in-depth for what it is. But I'll do this bit, and then I'll stop myself, because this goes on for a very long time. Man, my aim is great. Doesn't matter, though. Never punished. And this was... I forgot to mention, this is another game that was by Nuclide Games. So they made a couple of these. And on Flashpoint, you can see all the developers for these. Giga speed. Yes. All right, I'm stopping myself here. Good. Good place for me to stop too. Funny new gnomes, power-ups, more gnome bashing, and music. I've never heard the music. Maybe one day I'll find a way to get Hammerheads Deluxe, because it's one of those that you can't get on Steam. It's on Steam, but being able to buy it has been disabled. To this day, I don't know why. Hang on, let me go back up to the top. My blind old dad told me to beware of sheep. Oh, is he freaking Polyphemus? Wait, that's actually really cool. Wait, that is awesome. There's like a magnifying glass off of my cursor that shows the puzzle itself. That's really sick. But this is it's a tile puzzle game called Pixelus. It's certainly one of the weirder ones I'll be playing today. Okay, so that's... Hang on. And then that... There's definitely some logic to this. My move's 58. My best, 14. Within 10 moves of the shortest solution. Okay. Yeah, it's a very strange one. I don't really know what to make of it myself. But we're approaching the end. I've already done Rocket Mania, because a lot of these are repeats. We move on. I forget if this does work. Okay, wait. Quickly, put it on screen. Put it on screen. It's Bejeweled 3. We finally made it. This might be the one that doesn't work. I actually don't remember for certain. I seem to remember this one just hangs. Yeah. Yeah, this one just hangs. That's unfortunate. All right, we've got 2 left, and then that'll be all of them. Now, you might hear that music and already be able to tell, but this one is a bit of a weird one. Say hello to Bejeweled to Scoop Away. Another one in that weird line of games where they thought to themselves, you know what would make people buy kitty litter? Flash games. In the same sort of vein as Ariel, Zuma, or chocolate-covered Oreo, freaking Bejeweled, we have this. I'm not even fazed by this anymore. This is just Bejeweled.
Level complete.
I'm so jaded by all the Bejeweled games that I played today that I'm not even... I see good Scoop and I think, yeah, okay. Right, it's this one. I'm so freaking jaded. I've had to play so much Bejeweled today. More crusty Bejeweled than any man should have to play in one day. But that won't be the end of my adventures with Bejeweled. Of course not. Because I still gotta play Bejeweled 3, obviously, since that executable's broken. But there's a few after that. Some very weird and very strange games. Weird and strange mean basically the same thing, so I don't know what I'm saying there. Some very silly games from the annals of PopCap's history.
Excellent. Level complete.
Wow, that was very Scoop. Okay. With that, we say goodbye to Scoop, the Bejeweled to Scoop Away, and we move on to the last thing today, I think. Unless something else comes to mind. I have been streaming for almost 2.5 hours, so I think I just stop after this and give my voice a rest, because I have been talking non-stop for the past 2.5 hours that it cannot be good for my voice. I don't know how people doing subathons do it. Doing this for upwards of 8 hours at a time without breaks. Longer than that even. Depending on the situation. But this is it is AT&T Zuma. I forget if this one is... I think this is an endless mode. But obviously, there's this in the corner. AT&T. But I mean, yeah. Despite my complaining, I did have a lot of fun with this. It is so interesting to look back at the history of a company like this. Because every company that has more than a few games has at least one game where you look at it and you're like, yeah, I don't think they should have ever made this one public. You like look at a game or you look at a concept and you think, yeah, no, that just doesn't really work. PopCap is no exception. Sometimes it's better to leave things in the boardroom. No matter what what the PR guy says, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the shame of 20 years down the line realizing that now the Ant Bully Bejeweled will be stored in perpetuity as a flash game on the internet. was just thinking to myself how I'm even going to format this for the... Because I'm going to be uploading this on YouTube just for the convenience of people, so they don't have to go back and look at look at the stream. But I'm trying to think if I even want to do like a stream edit, like edit it down a little bit, or just leave it in its unedited glory. I think we could just gonna leave it unedited. And people will see that I really did just spend 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, just playing like PopCap games. Whew. God, keep up the speed with AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. 3G not available in all areas. Man. Oh my god. That was exhausting. That really was exhausting. But now, did I miss anything? I'm looking back through the list. I don't think I did. I think that is everything that's stored on Flashpoint. Barring, like, there are 3 versions of Big Money, and all of them are basically the same. There are, let's see, 3 versions of Big Money, 2 versions of Bejeweled 2, 2 versions of Bookworm. You get the picture. Some of them are just carbon copies of the other. One of them is in Flash as an applet. One of them is, like, the Flash Adobe 32, whatever version. But at last, I get to rest my voice. For now. And we'll say goodbye to Flash Bejeweled and all of the Flash PopCap games. Maybe I'll come back and stream some of these again sometime. Maybe just like as just like funsies, do Noah's Ark and just keep going and doing playthroughs of it over and over until I get bored. I don't know. We'll see. But for the time being, that's all I got. And I'll leave this, I'll send this over to the main channel and upload this and timestamp it for all the games. So if there's one game that catches your eye, and I'll make the thumbnail a bit more spicy to compensate, you'll be able to see. But yeah, thank you to the one person that popped in and stuck around. And thanks everyone else for watching. Have a good day, y'all.